Hi, hello, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the Nincompoops podcast. I'm your host, Paul, along with my dear co-host, Jim and Dean. And yeah,
Yeah.
we're on episode 40, the big Quattro Zero. I think it's, was it in French? Count? I think it's count in French. Bagels make
Only if
sense
it's
because it's
du
zero.
fromage.
If it's a baguette, it'd just be like a one. Yeah. You got it. You got it. Sometimes our genius scares us. That's how great we are. But how are you lads doing today? Another week? Oh yeah. I too also got my second COVID vaccine this week or weekend.
And as for me, tomorrow will mark my 2 weeks after getting my second dose of the vaccine. So I'll
Oh
be
shit, really?
officially be fully vaccinated.
Wow.
Starting tomorrow, or maybe the
Oh.
day after. I don't know, but either way,
You
yeah,
could start doing some of these various jokes that people make, about like, licking doorknobs and all that. You could start doing that tomorrow.
I could. Well, I never licked doorknobs before COVID, so not really. I don't see a reason to start.
Well, I mean, there's a first time for everything.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow, look at this. Dean being the voice of reason.
but yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone in my family or in the people I live with, at least, I've gotten the vaccine.
Mm.
So, uh, I think my grandparents haven't gotten theirs. I think it's just because they don't want to risk going outside right now. So they did. So they have taken it, but everyone that I immediately live with and stuff, they've all taken the vaccine. So we're clear, and I think it's about the same for your guys' end too, with a few
Well,
exceptions. I'm assuming, of course.
with an exception, yes. There's an
Yeah.
exception. Uh, yeah. I'm still. My dad said he's going to get the vaccine, or at least not on his own. I think I'm probably going to have to go to him to go to like a Walmart or something, just get his in person drop in shot there. But other than that, yeah, it's good to go. Yep.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah,
mine on Saturday, and I gotta say, for the first 2 days, including the day I got the shot, my arm was sore. I was a little bitch about it. I'm like, I ain't moving this arm. It's hard to move. I had to like drive Jim to work. I was like, one arm. I'm just driving with one hand today. Yep. That's what I tried to do. And at first like it was like working a little bit, but then just like but I'm sitting on my desk. I'm not gonna be like moving my arm like all the time. It's just like eventually I just get lazy. And eventually just like I had that feeling where that gross feeling of like, oh, my armpit is just like closed all the time, and I want to move it to let it breathe, but I can't because it hurts too much because I'm a little wuss. It was a gross feeling.
yeah. My arm was just sore, and then whenever I had to move my arm, I moved my arm. But for the most part, I try not to move it too much because unless there's like a reason for it, of course. Like
Yeah.
when I'm just sitting at my desk moving my mouse, that doesn't take much arm activity, so it doesn't really. I got my right arm, by the way, for those
Oh
who didn't
really?
know.
Okay.
So all I do is just move my mouse, or when I'm laying in bed, I just don't lie down on that arm, and I'm fine for the most part.
Yeah. You're a madman. For my first shot, I got my right arm, and then I realized soon afterward, like, wow, there's a lot more things I use with my right hand than I realized, including driving. So I decided to go with my left arm this time, and it's a lot more bearable this time. But yeah, I could not sleep on my left arm. I was like, mm-mm. I couldn't even like. head in that direction to like sleep at night. That night was terrible for me. I could not sleep. I don't think it was due to me being sore or the vaccine. I think I was just simply just not sleepy. So maybe it was just one of those nights I just could not sleep. Or maybe it was like a slight fever that made it my body temperature a little bit hotter than it should have been. Or normally is, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys may have had more symptoms than I did, because for me, that was just a sore arm, and that was just fine. But I think you guys didn't have it too bad either, so I think the three of us got lucky for the most part.
Yeah,
We didn't
yeah.
have it anything bad.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Was it just like what, like your knee was sore, or how would you describe that pain? Yeah. Mm. We're at that age where we just sit around, do nothing. We just like move around or breathe a little bit too hard, too fast for like a split second, and then like injury, death. Exactly. You just kneel over and die. You just like turn your head one wrong way. You're like, that's it. This is Dark Souls now.
Hey Dean, I'm on the live stream, and I think your voice might not be coming through.
Uh oh. So in actuality, it's just me and Jim here. We're just having a discussion with Casper.
Yeah.
It wasn't
There
Dean
we
this
go.
entire time. It's just Casper.
Damn it! I hate
All
when
right.
that happens.
So I guess for the first 8 minutes, you guys or 7 minutes, you guys can just hear like us talking to each other, and then
And then
we pretend someone is dead in the room. Yeah.
That's
my thing
amazing.
just lights up, but there's no voice.
Yeah, I saw it light up, so we could hear you, but I guess our Streamlabs didn't get it.
Yeah,
Lights are on, but no one's there.
I think Streamlabs hates me now.
Oof.
Yeah. So, well, while you guys were listening, we were just talking about the vaccine and what symptoms that Dean got. It was just like his knee or something, and
Yeah, my knee.
that's
hurts.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, you could probably piece it together with like some context clues of what Jim and I were talking about. But yeah. I've noticed with my knee, it's not like so much an injury, but what I tend to do, at least with my left knee, I've noticed it like tends to not lock up, but you know how like if you like bend your knees if you're doing squats or something, you can hear your bones crack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For some reason with my left knee, like every day I just had to like do like little squats while lying on my back, or just like leg extensions. I do that a couple times. I hear like, all right, I feel something in my knee, feel something in my knee, feel something in my knee, and sometimes I have to do that for like at least a minute, and I hear like a very loud and satisfying crack. I'm like, yes, that feels good. That's the ticket right there.
Yeah, I usually like try to kick if it doesn't pop like that, like if it doesn't crack. I'll like try to bend it and then like do a kick motion, and it'll. It's like there it is.
There it is. I don't do it with my right knee. My right knee for some reason doesn't need to do that. It's just my left knee, and I don't know if that's related to me running on the track field. And you know how when you're running on the track, you're going like in the counterclockwise direction usually.
Mm-hmm.
I think I don't know if it's really related to that when I'm just like running leftwards and my left knee is taking the brunt of it. I don't know, but
Who knows?
it doesn't hurt. It's no injury. It just feels. It's just a little tidbit and feels nice when I get a crack. Feels good.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I feel you.
Indeed, getting old.
Getting old indeed.
Indeed. I've been like perusing like some YouTube recommendations. At least for me, have been wild. I don't know. I mean, it's probably due to the content that I watch, but
Yeah.
I learned recently. Apparently, it's gonna be really random. Apparently, Pikachu, massive Chad. I had a clip where it's literally titled, it said like, Pikachu sleeps with Ash's mom. And I'm like, whoa. It was like an actual clip. And it's like, it's from an actual episode of, I think, the newer Pokemon, whatever like that odd art style is. And it's just like, apparently Ash and Pikachu get into a fight. And, you know, the comment section was wild. It's just like, saying like, when you get into like a fight with your best friend, you get revenge on him by sleeping with his mom. That's exactly what fucking happened. Maybe not like in that exact context, but like, you know, Pikachu, it's canon. Pikachu slept with Ash's mom. I was like, just cracked my ass off like looking at the comment section right there.
Yeah, I find myself within the last few years that my immediate thing to do after watching a video is just to go read the comments, because it just elevates your experience whenever you watch some of this stuff.
Yeah, it's it's different from how it was a couple years ago, or like even like maybe like the past 2 years, where you see the same joke in the comments section all the time, and you're like, ah, yes, just tired old bits, like the infamous like, no one, absolutely no one, that sort of thing. I'm glad that died out.
Oh
But yeah, that's like, you see that everywhere. And it's like, it doesn't even make sense in this context anymore.
Like the first time it was funny, but then people just start like using that for like literally everything, and then it just became a little played out. Yeah.
Yeah, it got old quick. But a lot of comments now are like pretty bangers. Or at least on
people are a lot more clever now. Instead of just using the same meme format, they try to make, you know, a joke out of it in different ways. That's always funny.
Yeah, a good portion of the videos I watch on YouTube are those like minute-long videos, or even those like couple-second videos. Like if I'm going through my recommendations and I'm like, the first thing I look at is like, oh, this looks like an interesting video. Should I watch it? I look at the time like, oh, it's more than a minute. I might pass. Even if it's 2 minutes, like, I'll pass. But if it's like 1 minute or below, I'm like, I'm gonna click on this. It's always quality. It's always quality. And the comment section make it even better. So
yeah. It's something I do too, where like I like to read like discussions about episodes of some. There's certain things I watch, like whenever I were to watch like a supernatural episode or an anime episode. I like going to discussions to read what other people have to think about it too, because it feels like, you know, you guys are all in it, like you guys are all into the same thing, and you guys are you know, you guys are in the same culture, you know, and you guys are able to connect with one each other, even though you don't know who they are, you know.
You're trying to find that guy that has the same thinking of what.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. You're not caring what other people's thoughts or theories are on the story, and then for certain things, it's just funny to shit on it. Like I'm reading a manga called Rental Girlfriend, which Dean also reads, and I like reading the comments, because the comments are just shitting on how shitty the pacing is for the manga, and then I get that sense of like, yeah, these guys get it, and I feel
these guys
better.
are intellects like me.
Yeah, and I feel better for having the same opinions as like a bunch of other people.
Yeah.
It's that what was that? Confirmation bias. There we go. I'm just like, you know, they agree with what I believe or something.
No, confirmation bias is when you have an opinion,
right,
and then like you have a opinion or an idea of something, and then you seek out other
that supports
that. Yeah.
My bad.
What I'm talking about is more like validation, where like I want my opinions to feel valid, so I seek it out with other people, so I can feel better about my own opinion about something.
Yeah. There we go. Validation's a better term than confirmation. I got that mixed up with something else. That's the politics again. But yeah, I agree on that, and I know a lot of people's opinions on, like, let's say reaction videos on YouTube are like, it's like a low hanging fruit. It's not a whole lot of effort are put into those videos. But I ain't gonna lie though, I kind of do watch them a lot, just for a lot of series that I've watched before in the past. And you may think like, oh, Paul, why would you do that? Look, man, it's the exact same feeling because like there's a lot of shows or series that I'm into that I know a lot of my friends probably wouldn't care as much as I would, like a lot of history stuff. But when I see other people watching, I'm like, yes, I want to know what their opinions are on this, and it just pops up in my recommendations of my favorite series. Like, all right, I'm going to be spending a lot of time on this, especially if the series is already done.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like there's a lot of games or shows that I like that, I know you guys have not watched or don't care to watch that. There's like a community for it, and it feels nice being part of it with other people who also enjoy the series that, people you don't know in real life
Mm-hmm.
are not part of, like I was watching, I've been watching, I just finished watching The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and it's a sitcom that's been gone for like almost 3 decades now. But it's not a show that a lot of people our age watch. I'm assuming because it's old and it's fairly out of
I'm pretty sure
it's
our
not
age watches it.
I saw it on TV. Yeah,
like
Like,
it's something we might have caught on TV, but
Yeah.
like people our age are not currently watching and talking about, because it's old,
except for when
And
it comes to like the meme of the opening song.
yeah. Like everyone knows the opening song, even if you never watched it. Like everyone knows what the song is. But but it was nice. Like sometimes I was just watching clips of the show, even though I've already recently watched it, and just seeing some of the comments on some of the scenes was like, yeah, these guys get it. These guys also watched the same thing as I did recently,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's nice to have that.
Speaking of reaction videos, I got recommended for some guy watching Kung Fu Hustle, and I was just, he's like, it's like his first time watching Kung Fu Hustle, and it's like, yeah, you like that part. I like that part too. Like,
Yeah, it's great.
yeah.
Yeah, or when people are like they interpret a scene in a much more nuanced and in a deeper understanding of what happens in a scene or something. Whereas for me, like for me, when I watch a series, I just turn on my brain off to a certain degree where I am able to enjoy it more rather than just like nitpick like, oh, this scene could have been a little bit better, or the dialogue could have been better, and then I would absorb it first and then form like, okay, this is what I think of it. But then some people like are really articulate about a certain scene or certain part of this of whatever, of a game or show, whatever, and then it makes you. And then when you see the comment, you're like, oh shit, dude, maybe they're onto something here, and then you kind of form your own opinion after reevaluating whatever they say or whatever. That's always cool too.
Yeah, indeed. You're talking about like either like the comment section or the person reacting to the video, or
I'm talking about like a comment. Yeah,
a comment.
For reaction videos, I don't watch those as much, but sometimes I do.
Yeah.
Although I do think they're it's low effort content. I think reacting is overdone because a lot of people don't know how to react. Some people just like laugh, like that's funny.
Yeah. I don't think anyone's arguing against that. It's definitely a low hanging fruit. It's just that I think some people watch it, or at least I watch it, just because like I want to see people like the things that I like.
Like a thing that's done well is if someone's like an expert at something and then they're like trying to react to like something that's not known to your average viewer. Like I was watching a doctor react to Cells at Work, and he broke it down in a way that was like, that you would never know unless you were like a doctor yourself.
Yeah,
and seeing that was really cool. But then some people
I saw bits and pieces of that too.
Yeah. And then some people, they like some people will react to something, laugh, and then call it a reaction video. It's like, okay, like anything past that, all you do is just watch the video. Like
I've seen a lot of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. When it comes to like experts or people who are experienced in that field of whatever that video is talking about, is usually the most entertaining and most exciting to watch, just because they're like, oh, I'm going to learn something here.
Yeah, or if they're good at articulating their thoughts. So even if they're not an expert, they're good in expressing like, hey, this is what I think of this, rather than just like literally not talking about anything, just like just laughing, whatever, and just like don't do anything with it. Like if you're gonna do commentary, like you have to be good at doing that. And I think a lot of reaction channels aren't good at that, and that's why like it's low hanging fruit to just react to a video and just upload it. You know?
Yeah, indeed. I mean, I've seen a lot of many where like, yeah, it's kind of bad. There's like, as you mentioned, they just like laugh or like they say a couple words and they're just like, all right, that's the video. Like and subscribe. And I'm just like, I felt like I more or less just watched a low quality version of the thing I like with like very little added to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, when it comes like a good reaction, it does make the video a lot better. Just because like, all right, I can actually hear and see what these people's thoughts are. But going back to the experts, yeah, I've been most of the ones I've been watching is usually revolved around like aircraft, like former fighter pilots talking, breaking down like movie scenes involving planes. And I gotta say, just watching a lot of those, man, I've realized like, yeah, a lot of the scenes involving planes are kind of crap. Even the ones like that come out today are just like, yeah, there's like a lot of stuff that's off. And the famous like you guys ever seen like videos like A10 warthogs like shooting their giant Gatling gun from the sky? It's always just like you see it in movies and you're like, where's the burr? Where's the sound is just not there. I just a little tangent right there, but yeah.
Well, I wouldn't know anything about that stuff. I'm not really. That's not really my in my algorithm. But, no, but I get what you mean. Like sometimes, yeah, like when it's portrayed in Hollywood, it's not really realistic. This happens a lot because I used to take psychology classes and we would watch movies where, you know, they would talk about a psychological issue, but then the way they present it as a movie isn't very realistic, and you know they stretch it a little to make it a Hollywoodized version of it. You know.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit more exciting.
Yeah, when we talk like in mental illness, when we talk about mental illness and psychology, it's a lot more. It's a lot more glorified in Hollywood than it is in real life. Like in Hollywood, it's like, yeah, you know, when this person goes through this, all these crazy shit happens. This lady got 6 personalities inside her, and then one, you know, pops up every now and then. But then in reality, it's, you know, in most cases, it's nothing like that. It's just like it's really tragic. But then in Hollywood, it's like, oh, look what's going on. This is fucking wild, you know.
Yeah, it's the same thing when I was talking about like aircraft as well, like in movies. Like you see like a lot in the movies, like you see like 2 planes like flying, like 2 jets like flying next to each other. Like in real life, they wouldn't be that close. The only reason why they have that close in the shot is just because, you know, you need to fit it onto the screen so people can see, and it looks nice.
Yeah.
And same with like dogfighting as well. Like with modern jets, you're not going to see 2 jets like right on each other's butt like it would in World War II. And today it would be like, all right, you see that dot on the screen that's a couple miles away. All right, you press the missile, and then you turn back and you go home, and that's the extent of the fight. Or it's a lot more like circling and a lot more miles away, and it's like it's harder to see the other plane that you're shooting at. But, you know, they do it in Hollywood to make it a little bit more exciting. Because I admit, just watching it, and I do enjoy watching it, that kind of stuff, like on DCS, like other players doing it. But it's admittedly kind of boring for your average viewer to watch, unless you know what you're looking for.
Man, wait till when I was in the military and watched Battleship. That was a hoot right there.
I bet. What you guys didn't like fight aliens? And this is spoilers for the movie Battleship. If you guys care.
Wait, this is not about the board game.
Yeah.
You know, the board game where you like fight aliens.
We were having a blast watching that movie. I was like, man, we'd never do this, and we're in this Pacific Fleet thing, and we've never done these stuff.
Do you guys still use battleships these days?
Nah. Yeah, that was something else. I was like, never thought I'd see something like that.
You know what else isn't portrayed very well in movies and shows? High school.
What?
Like maybe it's just because we live in the Bay Area, and you know our area is a lot more diverse and whatever. And we don't live in like a poor neighborhood when we go to school here. So maybe it might be different then. But how they portray high school is so fucking different than it is in fucking than in what we experience, because in all the movies they're like, these are the jocks, these are the nerds, these are the goth kids, which don't exist in our area, I guess. These are the cheerleaders.
There's probably like a little bit like goth, or I think we
we
called them
did
like
have
emo.
those, but it's
We
not.
called them like emos, I think, and
We called them
mid
emo.
2000s.
But they didn't
Yeah.
have like the aesthetic of a goth, like the most we get is just people cutting themselves. But like they didn't do the whole like, I will wear everything black and I will
Yeah, we had like a 1% of those.
Yeah, that wasn't really a thing. But like in the movies, they're always like split into their own groups. Like like this is the jock table. You can't eat there because that's the jock table.
Bro,
this
you
is where the
tell me
nerds eat.
I was an immigrant when I came to the States, and we watch American movies in the Philippines, and then when I got here, like, wait a minute, why is this high school not like a big giant building?
Yes, it was like everything in like you see in, like movies or shows like it's all indoors.
Yeah, it's all indoors.
And they have lockers all the time, but we didn't have lockers.
I was like, what the fuck, dude? Is this really America? It was like it's not like the movies.
Yeah. We never get the that scene where our crush is the locker next to us, and we open the locker, like, oh my god, your locker's right next to mine. Like we don't get that because we don't have lockers. We carry all their shit in our backpacks, and then
I think technically our high school had lockers somewhere.
They used to, I think, but
we just never used it, or no one never used it. Gym lockers, yeah, but I mean like putting your actual stuff. I think there was like a set of lockers near like the history buildings or the English buildings. Yeah, near the middle quad. Like you guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were there. Just no one used it.
Yeah, and then we didn't have lockers. Even though lockers kind of seem like a pain because you have to go there between classes and stuff. At the same time, it's nice to just be able to put your books inside there.
Yeah.
Because I had to like, because in high school where we went, it just depends on your teacher whether they want you to bring your textbook to class every day, and fuck you the ones that made us do it every day.
Yeah.
Okay, like
yeah.
But that was such a pain in the ass because my backpack always looks super big because I have to carry like 3 or 4 textbooks sometimes. I'm just like, I don't want it. Why do I have to do this? This is bullshit.
I think until the end of my sophomore year, where I just like left it in the NJRTC building. That's where I left all my books. And then I'll just go there, pick up my book, and then go to that class that needs a book.
I never did that because people would steal textbooks for some weird reason.
I think I just carried mine around everywhere.
Yeah, I carried mine too, and it fucked up my back, dude. Maybe it's what led to me eventually pulling my back, but that was the start of it.
Yeah, it was long term.
Yeah.
But
those kids with the rolling backpacks knew what's up.
Dude, the shitty part was that those kids are always the ones that got made fun of for having the roller backpacks. Everyone was like, "Look at this nerd." But
I had that in middle school, and I felt like this is gross. This looks disgusting.
But I think my 6th grade, when I was in 6th grade, I had the rolling backpack. And I was like embarrassed to have that one. I was like, I want a backpack.
Yeah, I had a roller I think it was in 4th grade. I had a roller because my mom was like, "You don't have to carry it on your back. You can just pull it. It will it won't be as bad. It'll be easy." But then I was like, I don't want to wear it.
I look lame. I want to be like the cool kids, or like normal kids, just wearing backpacks.
So I never used the roller. I just carried because they still had the straps for your back. So I just wore it like that. It was like the little handle thing on top. And looking back as an adult who doesn't give a shit what people think about what I wear or carry, I was a little bitch, bro. I should have rolled it just unlike everyone else.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck what you say.
Yeah. Yeah, like because my mom was right. It was better just pull it than carry it. Yeah.
Indeed, it's just something about wanting to fit in or just not wanting to be made fun of.
Yeah,
It's like such a strong grip while you're in school.
yeah. And when you're a kid, it's not our fault, but when you're a kid, you just want to fit in because you don't want that getting made fun of because that's your entire life basically. Your entire life is you at school, and you wanting to make friends and stuff because it's not like you have a 9 to 5 job to go to or anything,
Yeah.
unless you're
Yeah.
like some kid in a sweatshop in China. But for the most part, in America,
That was
that's
our
not
9
what
to 5.
that was our 9 to 5, just going to school. So that's why people didn't want.
I don't know
They want
about
to get made
5.
fun
I
of.
don't know about 5.
It was just 7 to
I think you're
2.
doing sports after school sports or not.
Okay, well, more like 7 to like 2.
7
Okay,
to 2 or
Yeah.
7 to
yeah,
3.
7 to 2,
Yeah.
7 to 3.
It's
But
Those
yeah,
were harsh.
they felt harsh, but looking back on it now, it's like, it ain't that bad. Like
yeah.
you had like 2 breaks and you had a lunch, like for 45 minutes. It wasn't that bad.
Remember when you had recess and you were expected to play and shit outside, and then once you're in middle school, everyone's like, "Yeah, we ain't playing no more. We chilling," and then
Yeah,
you're like, "Oh,
I didn't get that
you're okay."
experience.
You didn't have break. Oh, did you not have break in middle school in the Philippines?
No,
There was
he
no
was.
middle school.
Wait.
It was just like straight up. We did have break, like a 5-minute break.
5 minutes.
Yeah, and then it's like 2 classes in the morning, break, and then 2 classes, then lunch, and then like I had a shit ton of classes to do, cause I'd be there from like 7 to like 5 or 4.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Yeah, and then you have to stay because if you don't get good grades, you want to stay for the like after school lessons and stuff.
Yeah, the
Damn,
only
son.
thing after school I used to do was homework club because I didn't do my homework because
Yeah,
I was like a little shit
yeah,
who was
something
like
like
full
a
of
homework
himself.
club. That's what
Yeah,
Mine was like either cross country or track.
lunch was the best thing because it was like the longest break. Also, we
Yeah.
had to clean. It was like it was like
But-
how Japan does their stuff.
yeah. That's what
Where
I was
they
about to
clean the
say. Like, don't they
classrooms,
do the
yeah.
same in Japan?
Yeah, so Philippines is like that too in grade school. Yeah, we only had like grade school from like 1 through 6.
and the rest was just like high school basically.
Yeah, after 6th grade you go to high school.
Oh wow. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I found out that we were going to the States and I had to do 7th and 8th grade or 6th because I was a 5th grader when we left and I had to like move up to 6th grade. Yeah, when I heard about 7th and 8th, I was like, what the fuck is 7th and 8th? I thought, what is this? Was it 2 more years?
2 more years. Wait, how long is high school in the Philippines?
4.
4 years?
Wait, so it's 7
Oh.
to 10, and that's it?
So yeah. So grade school
Oh.
1, it used to be like that, but I think they implemented the 7, 8. Middle
Wait, so
school.
okay, so what do you do once you're like, what, 16? That would be 11th grade? What do you
Yeah.
do then? Do you just get a job or some shit? Or go to college?
Go to college, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you go to
They
college.
start
and
you
then-
guys off early.
Yeah.
But it's so rough. The classes are so rough because like it's not like here, where it's like 6 classes.
Yeah.
Over there, it's like 8 to 10 classes per day.
Ooh.
So
Nah.
you're in there for a while,
Hmm.
and
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think
That's
a little too much.
that's far too long.
Yeah,
this
like
is
even
only,
Japan,
this is like
even Japan isn't that bad.
public school or the private school.
Oh, okay.
Bullshit
Oh.
classes, by the way. Now that I realized it, one bullshit class.
That's how you get brain. I was get brain out. What burnout in your brain from just like going to too many classes and just like eventually after like a certain number of hours, it just like you just like stop paying attention as much. It's not like discipline. It's just like how I think the brain works. It just like
It's
eventually just like it
English,
just stops.
math, PE, and then like I think let's see. I'm just trying to remember my classes. Home econ, There was some other random class that I had to take. Oh, like I forgot what the actual class is, but it's like pretty much you study religion, the Catholic religion.
Religion.
Oh,
I
okay.
think that
Well, I
was
can't relate to that.
I think that was the most bullshit class I ever taken. Like, why do I have to learn this? Like, you know?
Yeah,
Where you go to
I mean,
church
as an
for?
atheist, the thing I'm bothered most by that is that you're treating religion as the same thing as science. Like, yeah, these are equally important for you to learn. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a weird subject because like, obviously yes, like religious people are going to say like obviously it's important
Yeah.
or arguably even more important than science,
Yeah.
depending who you ask, really.
But
My friend in Texas, he went to like a private Christian school for all of high school, and whenever he took biology, what they did was that when they taught science, they taught you everything except when the chapters on evolution. Then they're like, "Oh no, but this is nonsense. Don't listen to these parts. This is total bullshit. We all know that God made everything in 7 or 6 days or whatever." And it was just like, okay, yeah, this is just the curriculum. Like the religion part is important, the science part, everything except evolution is bullshit or is good, but the evolution part is the only part that's bullshit, and it's just accepted in that school. Obviously people could individualize, be like, okay, but I'm an atheist, I don't get, so fuck that. But
yeah.
but that's just the curriculum for a lot of people.
See, that was the weirdest thing for me during the time when I was going to church and I was kind of religious back in high school before I eventually became an atheist later in life. Was that weird struggle between like, all right, so I know I've been taught in school when it comes to science. I went to like a normal public school, got not normal classes, but just like, okay, so science taught me that we evolved from like fish and then into monkeys and then eventually human beings or Neanderthals and all that and then human beings. And but then the Bible on the other hand says, okay, well we came from Adam and Eve and we came from the women came from Adam's rib and all that, and there was a couple families and then eventually someone murdered someone, then more families came about or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like a combination. Like, all right, well, it's like I had like two cups. Like, all right, here's the secular science cup, and here's the religious cup, and I'm gonna like drink from each cup depending whichever institution I'm at. And when it comes to like what my own personal thought process on, I'm like, I mean, they could both potentially be correct. I don't know. But then eventually I'm just like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, it's still kind of bullshit. Like, it has to be one or the other. Obviously, it can't be both.
Yeah, like, I watched the show called Supernatural, and if you guys don't know, those of you guys who don't know, it's like a show where they hunt monsters and stuff, but then for like the main story arc, they have like kind of supernatural themes. Like early on, it had like it started off with demons, but then they threw in angels into the mix, and so when they reached this point where the existence of God was confirmed in the lore of the show, they're like they decided to have a mix of both, where it's like the angels were watching over Earth, and then they're like, hey, look at that fish. There are big plans for that fish because that fish was going to evolve into humans. But then in the exact same show, they're like, but Adam and Eve existed, so they came from that fish. But they try to implement both. But if you really think about it, it's really contradictory if you are familiar with the basic concept of how evolution works. And with the story of Adam and Eve, it's like, okay, they were made on like the whatever fifth, sixth day, whatever the fuck, and then bam, humanity. But it didn't turn out that way, obviously.
Oh, obvious to
Yeah.
some people, obvious,
Yeah,
obvious to others, of course.
Yeah, and also if you if Adam and Eve did exist, they were black, not white. All right, so
Whoa!
There's also that.
What do you mean by that, friends? You're going to tell me that Jesus was like Arabic or something or brown.
Yeah, probably. But who cares? The point is, uh, yeah, the two whenever it's being taught in like religious school, it's always gonna conflict, and some people might be prone to realizing it's bullshit. Some people might not. Yeah.
Yeah, it's religion's a funky thing, especially when I learned that in like my American or religion in America class when I was going to university, which is one of the classes I took just for fun, just because I thought it'd be interesting. Um, yeah, when I found out like Christians, Jews, and Muslims all worship the exact same God, it's just like it's just it's just like different books. Like uh, Judaism is like the first book, Christianity is the second book. Then uh, Islam is like the third book. It's just
Yeah.
like different interpretations. And I'm just like made me think to myself like, man, so this is so fucking dumb. So you guys are literally all worship the exact same God, but you guys are like fighting each other. And
Yeah.
part of it is like referring to like what I've been watching for the past couple days in Israel and Palestine and all that. I'm just like, what the fuck are you guys doing? You guys literally are on the same team, but you're like, nah, my team, my shade of blue is better than your shade of blue, and
A,
we're
a,
gonna
li-
fight.
a little side note. I always find it funny when fundamentalist Christians are like, "You don't worship the same God. You worship Allah. I worship God." But it's like, bruh, like if you know anything about Islam, like even like the very first thing about Islam is like, it's the same God. It's just
It's just
the
worded
word for
different.
God in their language. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
It's
the only
just
difference.
it's
Only
this
difference.
God, it's this God in Arabic. It's like me walking up to you and saying like, the French worship a different God from us Americans because they worship Jew. And it's like, Jew is a different God from God. And then you realize, wait a fucking minute. That's literally just means God in French.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
It's so dumb.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's
Going back to school, difference in school. It's not you that would move out the classroom. It's the teacher that would move out. I just remembered this. Sorry. It'd be
what?
the
So is it like?
teacher's.
So you'd be like in the same homeroom, but then like a different teacher comes in to teach you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
So
kind of
it
like
would.
Japan, right? I think that's how Japan works.
I think
I think
so.
so.
Yeah. It would be the teachers that are moving around.
So you guys stay in literally the exact same classroom.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, it does make sense from like administrative purpose because like instead of like doing a different schedule for each person, you just make everyone have a similar schedule, because they're just stuck in one room and just send them different teachers and that's it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's a lot easier to configure. Whereas with the way we do it here, at least in the Bay Area, is like everyone has a different schedule depending on what class you sign up for, and then it's all mixed around, and then the teacher just stays in one spot and they teach the same thing, but maybe like different levels of it. Like an English teacher might teach an English 3 class, an English 4 class, and maybe an English 2 class. So they don't just spout the same shit every single period.
I mean, logistically,
Yeah.
it makes sense. Logistically, it's easier on the administration, but at the same time, like fuck. I mean, you guys are already doing what, like 7 to 4, and you're like, that's already unbearable enough. But then when I hear like, yeah, I don't know, we're just stuck in the exact same classroom the entire day too. I'm like, bro, that you need to change the scenery at least, because even like when you're like switching classes, it's just like. Sure, the next class will probably be just as boring as your last
Yeah.
class.
Get some fresh.
But at least you get some fresh air. At least there's a change in scenery. At least that clock is at least looks a little bit different from the clock in the other classroom. Or
Yeah, I
the
also
teacher
like the way
goes
we
a
do
little
it
differently.
here because what if you don't want to take fucking art? What if you want to take home ec, or what if you want to take computer?
Yeah. Art and home ec were different.
it-
Yeah.
yeah, like what if you want to take something and not be forced to take something you don't want to take? Like if someone forced me to take fucking like I don't know, if someone forced me to take sculpting, I'd fucking want to kill myself because I can't sculpt for shit.
Yeah. That's why I think when I got here in the States, it was like something. I was like, oh yeah, I like this walking around thing. I can do. But then again, my seat was next to the window, so I could just daydream all I want.
You're an anime protagonist, man.
Yeah, all day long, or take a nap. Get in trouble for it. Man, my private school, we're very strict.
Yeah, sounds like it. Does not. No offense, does not sound like fun to me. I would not enjoy that.
Yeah. The nice thing about public school is that it's not so there's like a thing they have to live by, live up to, like a code or something, where they're like, okay, we have to teach this a certain way. We can't force our own thing into it, because in private schools, they get the credibility of a public school, but they set their own rules, whereas public schools are not forced to do that.
In a lot of cases, I think like some people even have the perception that private schools are even better than public schools, just because
I think
they think they're higher quality is what they assume.
Yeah.
It's also by funding too. Private schools get a lot more funding because the people who run those schools are very, very wealthy, and then they can charge tuition for your child to go to that school. And also, they have an admissions process, so you think like, oh, because it's it takes more than just signing up to get in. This must be a better school, and they're charging money, so this must be a better school because I'm paying more money for my kid to go to school.
Oh, yeah,
so they get a lot more funding, and then because of that funding, they're able to hire really good teachers, and so it lets your kid get a better education in terms of like getting a higher test score, on exams and stuff.
Yeah.
But in terms of like the quality, if your kid if people aren't going to private schools, then private schools wouldn't be very good. Also, public schools are always constantly being defunded, meaning that they're losing the money that's given to them to pay for school programs like teachers, after school programs, all that stuff, so that your kid does not receive as good of an education at public school.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Both that, yeah. So, and I know this because the thing that annoyed me was that, as an Asian, around other Asian kids, a lot of the other Asian kids would be like, yeah, public schools fucking suck. I need to go to private school. But, like, there's nothing wrong with public schools as long as they aren't losing their budget, which, should not happen.
Yeah.
I don't think I heard that a whole lot. I don't know, maybe just like the crowds I don't think I ever heard anyone say like I need to go to a
I was around a lot of education snobs throughout my time in middle school and high school. That's what they used to. Yeah.
Damn.
Like these are smart kids, but then their perception of like what to do is like the very standard like try hard at school Asian, where they care about good grades, they care about looking good to college applicants and all that stuff.
I must be really monkey brain. I was just like, basketball? Yeah, play basketball.
And I could have been one of those Asians if I stayed on that path, but when I joined RTC, it made me split from that sort of crowd, so I never really interacted with those people.
Wow, really?
I could have been one of them.
RTC guarantees an A as long as you participate. And my monkey brain was like, I'll take.
You downgraded, Jump.
Yeah. I was a smart kid. Like I was always like one of the best test takers at school and stuff. And I could have been one of those kids, but I guess I don't know. I guess I was too individualistic and be like, I just want to have fun to be one of those kids. And
I'm too individualistic. Therefore, I'm going to join this program where it makes me mold into like something.
Yeah. Well, the thing I liked about RTC wasn't the program itself. It was just like being with the people was what.
Yeah,
made
absolutely.
Me like it.
That's like the best part. Is just like hanging out with friends.
Yeah, I didn't give a fuck about the military part. Like, look at me. I'm not in the military or nothing. I never joined, but But yeah, overall was the RTC path was what made me change my perspective a little bit, and then set me towards the path that led to where I am now.
Damn. They just said easy A if you participate. I was like, I'm in. You got me as an 8th grader. Like telling me I just have to do this, get an A.
Yeah, right. I did tell you guys that me joining RTC wasn't because I wanted to. It was because my friend joined. I was like, oh, okay,
you
did
mention that.
Yeah, as time went on, it was all about like the friendship you made.
Mm-hmm.
in RTC because at some point I was like, I'm not joining RTC anymore. But then our friends were like, all right, 4 years of this, and I was like, you know what?
Yeah,
I'll do
I
it
think
too. Just
I think I've already told you guys this too, but I wanted to quit after my third year. And I was just like, because with RTC, there's like a lot of drama because it's like a class where if you're in it long enough and you built up a reputation, you can get positions of power, and because of that, and we're all a bunch of kids, we're like, wait, you don't deserve this, I deserve this.
We're a bunch of like dumb high schoolers.
Yeah.
It's like dumb high school politics. Yeah.
Yep.
And because of that, leads to a lot of problems between people, and because of that, I was just like, I don't want to be a part of this anymore. I just want to hang out with my friends, and then my senior year was when I decided to stay in it, but I was like, I don't give a fuck about the whole politics and drama shit. I'm just gonna have fun, and yeah.
I don't. Jim, the man who said like, I don't care about politics. Look where he's at now.
Well, dumb high school politics is different, okay?
Yeah, I don't think I might be in the minority for like a lot of people when it came to like our class and RTC or just like the RTC kids in general. I don't think I ever had that thought of just like, yeah, I'm not going to join RTC next year. I think I was like, yeah, I actually like kind of like this class. I just stuck with it for like 4 years because I legitimately enjoyed it. And I think it did help that I was able to somehow circumnavigate wittingly or unwittingly, just like avoid the drama for some reason for me.
I just didn't enjoy our sophomore year because of the things we've done, things that were happening, and the people that were leading us.
Yeah, our sophomore year was a little bit very meh.
Yeah.
Yeah, my last 2 years, like in terms of like how good the unit was, it was pretty bad. But then the only reason I had fun my senior year is because I just stopped caring about making it like a good program because it was out of my control. I was just like, oh, might as well have fun with it, and that's just what I did, and that's how I got to enjoy my last year in RTC.
Yeah, that's how I was in junior year. I was just telling other people to like, hey, come on, just have fun with this. Don't give a fuck. Don't do it.
Don't do it. No.
Yeah, I told a couple people, but they're their own. You can't force them.
Yeah,
indeed. It's a very interesting experience, nonetheless.
Yeah. But overall, I think my experience at RTC put me in a better path than I would have otherwise. I think if I didn't go down the RTC route, I think I would have been a different person. I think
even better than just like study every day crowd.
Damn, he would have been.
Yeah. I could have been a Republican if I went down the route. That is a possibility.
Yeah.
I could have been a Republican.
What are you talking about? A Republican? Well, that's how do you go from like I'm gonna study every day to become a Republican?
Well, the mindset could be like, hey, I worked hard to get to where I am. I studied. I put in the effort to get good grades. Why should these people why should these people get the same opportunity as me when I worked harder than them? And then maybe a few Steven Crowder videos, I could have been like, yeah, maybe he's right on the whole racism isn't a problem thing. Like it's a pipeline.
It's all cancel culture. It's all just like a
liberal
hoax.
my only problem was like I think I mentioned this earlier because I was in a homework club in elementary. Was my only problem from being an excellent student was that I just never want to do homework because I was full of myself. Like in elementary, I used to score really high on I would score like almost perfect on like the what was it, the STAR test.
Yeah.
So I was like, so my mom and my teacher were like, oh wow, you did really good. So I was like, oh shit, I might be really smart. And so I never saw. I thought I was a genius because I was really really good at math. I was really really good at English, and I was all without studying at all. So I was just like, holy shit, I must be really smart. And so they put me in elementary. They put me in the GATE program, which was pretty much like, hey, your kid's really smart. This is a special advanced program for your kid, and so that he can get a better education in the same school. But then the trade off is that you can't be in the same class as the other regular kids, and then so they put me in that, and I was just like, I don't want to do this. This fucking sucks. And then so that they put me back in with the regular kids, but then because of that, I thought I was the shit for a long time, and then
what's your head?
Yeah. And then so I didn't do homework. I was just like whatever homework. So my grades didn't reflect like how I did on tests and stuff. And as I got older, being really really good at multiplication gets less impressive once you're in high school. So once I hit algebra 2, and I realized that I can't just get an A without studying or doing homework, or I can't just get an A on the exams without studying. I was like, oh.
I still don't know how I passed algebra 2.
I passed algebra 2 with a B, and I didn't do homework, so it was like a little bit there. But then once I hit pre-cal, I realized that was my limit. I can't just not study it anymore. And then I was like, okay, well, I don't think I'm as smart as I think I am, so gotta relax a little bit.
You're only a prodigy for a couple years.
Jim
That's
could have
it.
been the inventor of time traveling.
Yeah, once I hit college, I realized I had to start studying. So my first time studying was in college, and then before that, I never studied for anything. I was just like went off of just my brain.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was a pretty average student in that I didn't study and I got C's and B's, or maybe like high B's and low A's at best. But yeah, for me, I had to like learn to like eventually like start studying, and even when I did study, I got meh grades, especially when it came to like math and chemistry.
I'm just a terrible fucking student because I don't want to study. I just want to have fun.
That was my thing too. I was just like, why would I study? I'm already smart enough to not study. I can just watch like 5 hours of TV instead. Like.
I don't even think that. I'm just like, man, homework is bullshit. Like I was like. There was no, like, you couldn't motivate me to study at all. I was just like, but fun.
Yeah.
Fun. Studying, I think fun wins the way, Yeah,
I get that. I had that too.
Indeed.
Yeah, saying all that wasn't to flex, by the way. For those of you guys like, okay, Mr. Genius, but because I realized I wasn't a genius. I just realized I was just pretty smart. But then
I ain't no genius.
I was an idiot for not.
You stuck on something called the Nincompoops podcast.
Yeah, I was an idiot for not studying and shit because I could have been a better student or some shit, but I didn't because I was lazy and I just wanted to play video games and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Did any of that change though as you guys got older and start to enjoy studying a little bit more, or is it more just like it's more or less the same?
More or less the same.
More or less the same.
Yeah, when it comes to studying for a purpose of like getting a grade, like when I'm learning about something that's just for a grade, then I don't give a fuck.
If it's something new that I'll learn, then it's like it's very interesting. So it's like
wow. Like with Dean, it's like PC building. Like he does that not because he was a computer science major. He did it because he just likes PCs and likes how the whole intricacies of like how this part performs versus this part, whatever. Mm-hmm. For me and Paul, we shared like this in politics where I never took a political class outside of like for a general ed, but then here I am like literally learning about politics like every single day, and that's not because I want a good grade. It's just because I want to know stuff about how to make a better world.
This man can actually define communism, socialism, social democracies, democratic socialists, and all the other socialist stuff.
Yeah, now I can talk political theory and policies better than most people. I'm not an expert because it would take for me to actually read like all these books about political theory and that stuff, but I'm at a point where like compared to the average person, I can do a much more detailed explanation and I can debate these things better than most people can.
Yeah, and you can explain it to them.
Yeah,
indeed. Yeah, and for me right now, it's like as Jim mentioned, like it's politics. We're like in the same interest field in there, but then also for me, it's also just like me becoming better at studying in general when it comes to my aviation stuff. and one for me when I'm currently learning French and trying to learn other languages as well. It's a lot of it comes down to like how interested are you in those subjects.
Yeah.
That eventually it doesn't even feel like studying. It just feels like, oh, I'm learning something. This is actually dope, and this is something I'm actually interested in. So it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would have been a little bit different if I were like be taking politics as a grade. I think my experience in the class would not be as the same as if I were just studying on my own. In a classroom, it's not quite the same.
Yeah.
I think.
I think it's the fact that also because there's a grade involved. Like,
Yeah, it really I really lose motivation when it comes to those things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like some schools are like trying out this where like they're trying out like, hey, you're not getting a grade in this. It's just pass or fail. Like it's and then they're trying to see the results of that. There might be results already, and I'm just not caught up with it. But they're trying to experiment. Like, hey, is it better if your kid doesn't do it for a grade, but just to pass or not? Would they learn more or be more interested in learning more about this subject?
Yeah,
I'm not sure if that's here or like in other countries, but I know they're trying that out.
I think
yeah, that would be dope. I think in Germany what they do is they learn about what you want to do pretty early on or what your interests are, and they send you to those kinds of classes where
that's sick.
I think I mentioned this one episode where like
I think so. I think
after high school or during high school they put you in like, hey, this is the general ed part that you're gonna have to learn, but if you want to do, but here are routes you can do, whether you want to go to college or go to the workforce, or we're going to cater to what you want to learn so that it'll be easier for you to, get knowledge in these things rather than how we do in the United States where, again, we mentioned earlier.
It's almost like college majors except in high school.
Yeah, basically. And, I don't know the exact results, but I'm assuming they probably have better turnouts than we do because our education systems rank pretty low for the status of as a country that we're in.
We're ranked pretty low on a lot of things for our status as a quote unquote first world country.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
I think we're like ranked 17 or some shit, or maybe lower now. Because I heard we were 17 back in like 2015. It's been 6 years. Might be lower than that now. So
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be either.
Yeah.
Maybe if our education system would have been better, I could have cured cancer by now, and maybe I would have gotten shot by a pharmaceutical company or something. Who knows? But maybe I could have done it. All right.
If our education system was a little bit better, maybe we wouldn't have voted for Trump or Biden as president.
Maybe we would have Terminators or Skynet by now.
Yeah. Maybe we could have better equipment for this podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
We could have light Wi-Fi or li-fi.
Wi-Fi.
We could have smell-o-vision.
Yeah, smell-o-vision.
These are fucking terrible.
Bro, imagine watching a cooking show with smell-o-vision. That just elevates your experience even more.
Okay, all right. Actually, sounds kind of dope.
Like watching Food Wars. Imagine watching Food Wars, and not only are you smelling like the food,
Yeah.
You can read the comments of how everyone's reacting to the smell of the show.
Yeah, but imagine like watching like micro dirty jobs or something like that.
Imagine watching porn. You just smell comments.
No, no. Oh, I can
TMI.
I could smell it wafering off her nether regions.
Yeah, imagine like there's like a fart or something. You're like, oh no, is that you, Peter Griffin? Fuck.
How much immersion is too much immersion? Is the question.
Smell-o-vision VR. That's the next level.
Oh no. Again, my only VR experience has been like that Toyota car thing that apparently can read your mind in Japan.
Yeah.
That's my only experience.
Well, once I move to the new house, I'll have VR.
Ooh.
Nice.
Well, I don't know if I'm gonna buy it that fast, but
Yeah.
The bidet comes first. I think.
Bidet comes first. I'm gonna get the total washlet.
I view VR like obviously video games and stuff are a luxury, but I feel like VR is like the luxury of a luxury. Like,
I agree. I agree on that.
yeah, like I don't need it. I don't even want it, but it's, like if I have it, then okay, cool.
Yeah.
If I were to put like video games on a tier list when it comes to luxury, I think on the bottom I would put like phone games. Then next would be consoles. Next would be PC, and then up there would be VR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much it. All right.
We're an hour and 5 in. I guess it's a good time to wrap it up, right?
Yeah.
Indeed. Indeed.
All right. This is Jim here from the Nincompoops podcast, and I'd like to wish you a very pleasant eat shit. I'm just kidding.
Oh.
But yeah, thanks if you guys made it this far. Thanks for catching up with us an hour and 5 in. This is the end of episode 40. If you want to watch episodes 131 through 39, they're already on YouTube and then in the description below. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can catch us doing episode 41 next week on twitch.tv/the_Nincompoops at 6:30 PDT. And then once daylight savings comes back, then PST. But until then, same time, same bat channel. And also, if you're watching this on YouTube, don't feel afraid to leave a comment for us because comments are always nice. Give us some likes, and hey, if you're watching this and you're not subbed, maybe you should sub.
Yeah,
you know, we've been stagnant at 32 so far, so if we can hit 33, that'd be cool.
I was hoping you would not go into the like that usual thing that YouTubers are doing nowadays, like, hey, 40% of you are not subscribed.
we would say 99% of you aren't subscribed.
Well, we don't look at our analytics or anything.
That'd be so sad.
Yeah, I don't know the analytics. I have no clue.
Alrighty.
But anyway, yeah, hope you guys had a good time and see you next time. Peace.
Later.